So this is US dollar Japanese yen analysis for Wednesday the 18th of October. Now let's just have a look what's happened with prices on the 17th. So on the 16th we had this big move to the upside, strong buy momentum from that zone that we mentioned, in around the horizontal support of 1160, but we did have the 200 period moving average on the weekly time frame sitting at 1180. So within that 20-point zone we did expect a reaction. We have got that reaction, and prices did go on to test the weekly pivot that we had previously at 1215. We did have a bit of consolidation coming into the 17th, and prices have broke to the upside, and let's see when that was, whether it was possibly news related. It did break at 1, the candle which opened at 1 p.m. today, which suggests that it would likely be in some fundamental news release that caused this strong buying move to the upside. Now, with a strong move to the upside, what we'd like to see ideally is smaller bearish candles, indicating that the bears have not taken control of the market. Bulls are firmly in control. The bears are slightly cautious before a continuation to the upside. Now, instead, what did we see? We did see the very next candle, an hourly, pushed all the way, retraced quite deeply. Even though buyers were able to get it up, they were able to drive prices back up. They were not able to close the candle bullish. Now, the second candle after that, we did trade above the height of the news candle and the candle before it, but we did close bearish. This is a particularly bad sign. So we did see a retracement that retook the entire move to the upside based on the news related candle. Interestingly enough, we do have these, which I've been using, referencing in my videos, as this higher time frame moving average here in black. It is essentially a 400 period moving average. So this 400 period moving average has provided some resistance. We weren't able to close above this 400 period moving average, and we subsequently sold all the way back down to the weekly pivot support at 1215. So as we're down to this weekly pivot support at 1215, what are we expecting? Now, if we do see continuation of a strong bullish price momentum of 1215, we would be looking for prices to retest the 200 period moving average here in blue and the 400 period moving average here in black before a move up to 1252, which is a key level. We have had plenty of reactions of 1252, so a move up to test the 1252 would be our next target if we do see continued bullish momentum of 1215. If, however, we do see some momentum of 1215, we're not able to get up to, say, the 200 period moving average, or we do get up to 200 period moving average on this hourly time frame, and we do have reversal in prices, a possible break of 1215 would be likely. A break of 1215 should see prices could retrace all the way back down to below 1180 and back into that zone of interest in between 11. It should be about 11. The zone's actually gotten a bit bigger now as the 200 period moving average has moved upwards. So we're going to briefly have a look at the 200 period moving average on the weekly time frame to see where we are. So let's just see. We are currently putting in a bullish week as long as prices stay above 1175. Is it 1170? Wow, 1175. So the 200 period moving average is currently sitting at 1184, and this week open at 1175. So if we go back down to the execution time from the hourly, and let's just see where we are. So 1175. So in and around there. Yeah, this week opened around 1175. Interestingly enough. I didn't mark it out on the charts, did I? Well, anyway. So what we could see prices retrace all the way back down to in and around that 1180 level. We've got a 200 period moving average, the 200 period moving average sitting at 1184 at present. And we've also got this major horizontal support at 1160. We've also got the weekly pivot sitting around 1175. So we've got a lot of possible support beneath where prices are if we do break down prices. Now, if we do continue to the upside, 1152 I've already mentioned, and above that, 1252 I've already mentioned, and above that, 1277. It is a pretty tight zone there, but I suppose that's reasonable to expect that, because the very next level above that is around 113.44, which is well, it's some distance away, but a fundamental news catalyst could drive prices all the way up there. So I'm just going to have a brief look at the higher time frames, see how prices are developing. Currently let's just have a look at the monthly. The previous month was a strong bullish month, and I did expect further continuation. We are seeing some weakness at present, which is not ideally what I'm looking for, especially as we are about 18 days. Is it 18 days? Yes, 18 days into the month. I would have liked to have seen a possible weakness in the first 2 weeks, and for the bears to step out of the way, for bulls to take control of the market, to drive it up to 13.56 and 14.30. But at the moment, the bears are really battling it out with the bulls. So if we go down to the weekly time frame, just to have a look to see what is actually happening with prices. Now, on a weekly time frame, we do appear bearish, as we have had a series of lower highs and lower lows, even though we've had a range. The structure has been more akin to a range than anything else, because the lower lows have only been slight lower lows, so they haven't been. Let me explain that a bit better. So the lower lows have not been the distance between the previous high, the previous low, and the new low has not been a huge distance. And if you look at it in terms of the lower highs, again, the distance between the previous high and the most recent high, where prices have reversed, have not been a big distance. So it is, even though we are slightly trending to the downside on the weekly time frame, we do have to be aware of the bullish bias, especially on the higher time frame, the monthly time frame. So where are we now? We're currently trading in bullish territory at present. We do have the 200 period that we've mentioned before sitting at 11.84. We do have the 50 period, however, sitting at the is it 12.15? Sitting at 12.15, along with the this all in weekly time frame, along with the weekly pivot at 12.15 as well. So 12.15 is a very interesting level to look at. And let's just go down to the daily time frame, see where we are. And on the daily time frame, we do appear to be putting in a lower high, but prices have found support at this 200 period moving average. We did have this strong buying momentum off there on the 16th. On the 17th, we've put in a bit of a doji. Prices have pushed up, but we actually closed near the open. A bit of indecisiveness. So a candle which forms and closes like that, I would still interpret as being somewhat bullish, as prices did try to move upwards. There was some initial selling, but I suppose would possibly expect prices to go on to test the 12.52 level, and might even test the 12.77 level. Now, if we do go on to retest possibly this 20 period moving average, and we do sell off from there, again we'll be looking all the way down to where we found support previously for a possible bounce. If we are not able to do that, then 110.73 possibly comes into focus, as at that level we've also got the 50 period moving average. So that should wrap up my analysis on the US dollar Japanese yen. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.